Driving around North Florida lately, I'm sure you've seen signs of road construction on many of our roadways. In fact, you just can't travel anywhere without running into a construction work zone. Road construction is a sign of a booming economy and provides the necessary improvements to keep traffic flowing and keep us moving.
The Florida Department of Transportation in Northeast Florida currently has more than $1 billion invested in road and bridge construction projects.
If you have driven through Jacksonville on Interstate 95 recently, you have encountered one of the largest road construction projects in the history of the Northeast Florida area. The I-95 Overland Bridge construction project is replacing deficient overpasses while providing additional capacity and making major safety improvements. And all of this while more than 100,000 cars and trucks drive through this work zone each day.
Since we can't close the interstate to make these improvements, we have to work around traffic and keep on a production schedule. It's like hosting a dinner party while having your kitchen remodeled.
It's not easy for drivers when there are so many construction zones around, and they can start to become oblivious to the changes, kind of like construction fatigue. But it's just a temporary situation to a permanent solution. Work zones for a major construction project, like the Overland Bridge, can last for several years. Or work zones can be for shorter periods, like a quick sidewalk repair or driveway installation. These work zones can be dangerous areas for both highway workers and drivers.
You'll see accidents up and down this roadway that are multi-car, and the only reason they're multi-car is because they are not paying attention.
Traffic crashes occur within work zones is typically the fault of the driver, not of the zone itself.
In Northeast Florida, drivers log more than 43 million miles daily, which means they may be traveling through multiple work zones. By 2016, there could be construction underway on every major road in Jacksonville alone. Work zone safety is a serious matter. Every day, workers risk their lives while improving our roads and highways. But it may surprise you that most of those killed in highway work zones are actually drivers. According to the Federal Highway Administration, during the past 5 years, more than 4,400 people died in work zone crashes, and 85% of those were either the driver or passenger. And the Center for Disease Control ranks Florida as the state with the most motor vehicle crash fatalities in construction work zones.
It's imperative that everybody gets home safely. If you're distracted when you're driving, you could inadvertently get off the edge of the road and actually fall into a potential situation where we're doing construction and harm yourself, your vehicle, and more importantly, the workers that are trying to get the project done.
All it takes is one little distraction and then you're into our people or into our equipment.
Everyone is in a hurry to get where they need to be, whether it's work, school, a doctor appointment, or even just dinner and a movie. We all want to get there as fast as we can.
Some of the violations that our agency observes day in and day out on our construction zones is multiple violations. What I mean by that is following too closely, excessive speed, improper lane change, or just flat-out violation of a traffic control device.
But we need to use common sense driving techniques while on the road, especially when driving through construction zones.
You've got to pay attention. See that sign that says reduce speed? Some drivers think that applies to everyone else but them. The speed limit is reduced for a reason. Something has happened, whether it's the placement of a barrier wall along the shoulder or traffic has been shifted. Most importantly, there could be someone's mommy or daddy working right next to your lane of traffic. Even those we depend on to keep us safe, such as our law enforcement or road rangers, have to work right next to the road to get their job done. Because so much of our construction work is done at night, drivers won't notice changes to the roadways until they drive through the next day. That's why it's important to slow down and pay attention every time you drive through a work zone. And see that car in front of you that slowed down?
Leave some distance between you and them, so in case they have to slam on their brakes, you don't run into their rear end.
Rear-end crashes are the most common types of work zone crashes because drivers tailgate and get impatient when the vehicle in front of them obeys the speed limit or sees a situation which they need to reduce their speed.
Above all, you've got to get rid of all of the distractions and focus on your driving. Put down the cell phone, leave the radio alone, And stop talking to all the people in your car. Just tell them, I'm getting ready to drive through a work zone and I need to give it all of my attention.
We only want to keep you safe as we keep our roadways safe for you. As the population grows and more people move into our area, it's going to get harder to keep up with all the improvements needed. By being proactive, we can take care of our future needs now, before our major roadways become parking lots instead of expressways.
But we need your help on our journey, every single one of you. You can help by following our common sense guidelines. Slow down, pay attention, keep a safe distance, and expect the unexpected.
Nothing is that important that you have to rush through a construction work zone.
Please slow down. We all want to go home safe and sound.
By staying alive on your drive, you can enjoy the things you work so hard for. And our workers can provide you with a smooth and safe ride so that everyone can return home to their families at the end of the day.
After all, isn't that what it's all about? Driving is a privilege, and it's your responsibility to drive safely through a work zone. So stay alert and do your part to protect the lives of other drivers, our highway workers, and yourself.